Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect and a new series. There's some very tired doggos there. Today's beverage is a very nice rooibos or red bush tea. So welcome back to Prison Architect, where previously we were doing the farm to fork facility. The idea was to produce all of our food on site where possible. That included a lot of farming from the farming fields, from the fruit orchards, vegetable patches, etc. We also did the same thing for the energy, so it was all produced on site and it worked very well. The only main sort of sticking point was the eventfulness of snitches and ex-law enforcement. That's basically one of the big driving forces for this series, which will be focused on segregation and trying to keep the inmates separate where possible. It doesn't mean they'll never interact with one another, but I want to have very distinct wings for different categories of inmate as well, including protective custody, I should point out, or low category inmates. We're probably going to put them together, but let's see how things go. But also, we're going to go for a staggered regime, and it's something I don't normally do, and not often enough, as people have pointed out. So the idea is that we have a regime where the inmates will go from their cells to the sort of gen pop area, do whatever they need to do, including eating and things are going on in the background there, and then going back to their cells, and then another type of inmate will come back. So that's the idea. Let's just see how we get on with this one. As always, your comments, tips, suggestions are very much welcome. Let's go to create new prison, and we'll set all of this up. So we're going to go with maybe default uniform and colour, and we'll come back to the warden and the doggos. World size is small because this is one of those testing facilities. I don't know how it's going to go. Funds I'm going to put up to 50,000. Plot type I'm going to go with... Shall we change it up a little bit? We could go with jungle, snowbound, desert, or lunar. Now, previously we went with the desert, or default, and I want to sort of, change it a bit. So maybe a snowbound plot. Weather and intensity I am going to keep off. Because we've had that in the last two series, so I don't think we need that. Same as gangs. I know having on gangs would maybe lean into the idea of segregating the inmates, but that was the series before last, so we've already sort of touched on that, so I don't want to run with that. However, I do want to go with the medium dynamic reputations. Prisoners have the chance to gain or lose unique reputation traits during their time in prison based on their activities and experiences inside. So we have put this on before, but it's mainly when we've had like the everything facility where everything has been turned on, and when we've had the town facilities. So things like, well, I think it was probably over a year ago now, where we had like every single thing included, all of the buildings, all of the items that we can, and all the different types of inmates, categories, etc. And well, because the dynamic rotations was on, basically everybody interacted with one another, and it wasn't really a challenge, as it were. It just everybody gained everything. So having it sort of split up with the regime might bring some interesting results. Fog is off because naturally it's easier for you to see. We are going to generate forests. We want lakes or buildings. Warden mode, no. Vents, we'll have the vents on because we haven't seen those in a while. Temperature we're going to keep off. Staff needs, we will... do I want to put those on? I think we probably do. Escape plans is also going to be on. We're not going to have unlimited funds, bureaucracy, or tools and cheats. In terms of DLC settings, we're not going to have on jungle or undead. We'll have on aging because why not? As I said, gangs is disabled. Weather intensity and rat infestation definitely is disabled. It is not an island-bound facility. As for the cleared for transfer, it's not within the remit of this thing. I may end up changing the items that are in each individual cell. Got there in the end. The idea is that the low category inmates might have better amenities than the high risk ones, are the ones that are breaking the rules more, but that's not necessarily the cleared for transfer. They'll move to entirely new areas. Criminally insane inmates I am going to keep off. However, we can turn that on during the game, and we might lean into that later on based on the space that we have. So I'm not going to rule out the psych ward. That might be a nice little expansion, actually. In terms of the warden then, what shall we go with? We've obviously got default warden, which is no positives and negatives, no traits of note. You've got lobbyist, which is half the likelihood of receiving prisoners who are violent, lethal, volatile, etc. That might be useful. We've got periwinkle, uncovering tunnels, pacifier, resale value of contraband. I don't think we're going to get much contraband because of the design that I have in mind. Hawk Hartman, all guards drop staff keys less often than guard stamina replenishes. Slugworth and Hudson are more to do with the psych ward stuff. Botanist and ecologist went with previously. Captain J. Locks, plus 30% staff stamina, requires 10% more rest, but minus 10% of prisoner of reoffend chance. That's actually really good. Dylan Cook, gentleman smooth talk anyone. Food costs are lowered, and programs that require external teachers cost less. I don't know if we're going to have a lot of those. There's basically nothing of great note that I can think of. That's all to do with undead. That is suppression rate fading. I think we're gonna go with. Maybe Dylan Cook. Food costs load. No, not really. The default, I guess, warden. You can't go far wrong with. Repair cost for Dr. Hudson. Maybe we'll go with Rita. Half the likelihood of prisoners receiving Stokel or Fearless. Perhaps. Pacifier. Reduce the overall temperature of the prison, making it less likely to cause trouble. That's just, again, a default default one. We're going to go with doggos of all doggos, perhaps. Or do we go with Grommet? Yeah, companion. Let's try it. And there is our snowbound plot, which is... Well, we don't have much to deal with when it comes to trees, do we? Okay, let's go ahead and go for exports over here. I'm going to move the garbage and other stuff over there as well. So go for garbage, which is just going to be opposite like so. And then the deliveries, which you didn't want to do this back in the day. Is exports the right size? We've got 9 there and then 9 there. Yes, there we go. You didn't want to remove these previously because otherwise what would happen is the works and the stuff would come along and then miss the deliveries and then head off and oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's go for garbage. It's a lot easier to see actually with this snowbound plot, isn't it? Okay, so we are going to go to intake and we're going to close that off. In terms of the inmates we're going to have, it is definitely going to be a range of inmates, a category probably ranging from medium to maximum, maybe even some supermax, but we'll have to see how we get on with planning. So planning is going to be fairly simple. We will have a wall around the outside, and then basically I want a gap of maybe just 1 between the cells, and I'll plan... Do I want a gap of 1? Gap of 2 is your standard procedure, actually, so we're going to go with that. Standard procedure of gap of 2, because then you can have at least 2 patrols and it works a bit better. However, the main focus on this one is going to be the cells. So the cells are going to be in an interesting shape, and, well, I don't know if it's going to work or not. The idea is that I want the cells, we're probably going to put them in here, so that we have them, normally if we put a cell block, say, a cell block in here, and then a cell block in here, then a cell block in here, what you get is huge amounts of space left over. However, if I was to design it like this, where we have it basically come down like this here, and basically have a big triangle, it's a shame we can't click and drag and do that. Triangle... Triangle mod is definitely necessary. There you go. It comes along like that, and then this one is going to be the same, and that is not going to fit. Okay, what is the distance from here? It is 5, and it is 6. So this one needs to go down, does it? 5 and 6. Yes, so this one needs to go down by at least 1. Let me remove this a second and put that in there. And then I'll double check this one, and there should be a gap of 2, which I think there is. And that's the problem I have with doing this is that one little mistake is easy to miss and completely messes up the rest of the design. So... yeah, let's see. That seems correct. I'm just going to double check the measurements, which is 6 from there and then 6 from there. So that is the gap that we need. So let me just remove this section here. I want a gap of 6, which is there. That is the end. And then this one is going to be a gap of 6. So I'm just going to double check that measurement of 6. So it should be that. And the reason I've done it like with this is because if there is a cell on this corner, at least I can put something in that corner. So let's just see. Is that... no, that's the wrong bit. Okay, so that is the design for the cells. I don't know how far I'm going to come with this, and this is hopefully not something I'm going to go for over-planning. Naturally, it's something I often do, over-plan, but we'll see. This is just going to be the sort of rough idea of the design, which is the cells in this formation. So the cells are going to be on the corners. So 1, 2, 3. This one here will be probably not all for inmates. What I might do is have the top bit for, say, protective custody, and the bottom bit for maybe criminally insane if we go with that one. Or obviously we need a staff area as well. But in the middle is where we'll have a sort of big block where that's going to be sort of gen pop, with the outside of it. So, say, you know, these sections and these sections. Let me try and draw arrows. Yay, it's really hard to do. These sections here around the outside, that is going to be sort of different rooms for visitation and for programs. And this is going to be things like, well, most likely where the prisoners get fed. So let's see. As I said, I don't know how far in the middle I need to go with this one. What I do need to do is measure the middle. So let me do that now. So from, let me just double check this one again. It's actually really nice to not have a plot that is just brown. However, now we've got this solid white snowy plot instead of the sand colour. The issue that we have is that you can hardly see the planning. So, yes, there's no winning on this one. So it's 6 to there and 6 to there. That is fine. And then 6 to there and then 6 to there, which is also good. So we'll double check this measurement, and it is a 73. So I'm going to say guesstimate there. And then we've got in 37 and 35. Ah, just missed it, did I? Put along a little bit. It's 36 and 36. So the idea is, let's just bring all this down, and then bring all of this down, like so. I could have that. So that is the middle. Do I need that amount of throughput? As in, when it comes to the center, I could have doors like there, like that and like that. But the amount of inmates I'm going to have is currently up in the air. If I was to say building that, it was going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Say 20, 40, 80, 120. Don't need that amount of throughput unless we go for expansion, which is if we do here, then it can go that way for the diamond. Well, yeah, it'll actually make a quite decent looking one for expansion. Oh, okay. That's something we could do. The other option is I just shrink it down like this and have that. And that's a 3. And then we could still have it expanding. I think that should be fine. And it does net us a little bit more space. And if I went for the big one, yeah. I don't think I need the 5 is what I'm getting at. Okay. Let me just double check the other measurements. It was well, I need to do the corners first, don't I? So it's to about there, which is 6, and there, which is 6. Double check. Yeah, it is. And just to confirm, we'll do that. Okay, I'll do this corner as well. So there. And there. And then it's going to come in like this. Yes. Again, trying to get it correct. So once again, double check. 6 and 6. And if we measure this one, it is 64, 73. Different sizes. Well, that's a nightmare. All right, well, there is a middle to it. It's going to be different then, isn't it? It is going to be different. That is because of this road. It's obviously wider there. So 87 and 78. Okay, it means that these cell blocks will be slightly different sizes. Does that matter? Not particularly, because you generally have lower, higher risk and supermax than medium and low, unless you go for a facility that's solely based on that. It means we have to tailor each one. The top and bottom can be cloned. Actually, probably not because of the layout of this. It's going to be a nightmare to build, I should point out. I am really painting myself into a corner on this. But we're going to continue on because as we attempt to do something different, this is where we're at. So, it is a 64. So, what? 32? 32. There. Let me just get this wrong. 31 and 31. I didn't get it wrong. Okay. So, there. And there. Let's just bring these over to here. Because we'll have to have somewhere to get in. Doors, doors. We're not going to have doors there. And obviously these are going to meet in the middle at some point. So this one is slightly... Yeah, this one is slightly different in sizes. And we'll just triple check. It is 6 to there and 6 to there. So it should line up. Yes. Okay, let's continue on. We'll do the bulk of the work, which is just this. And obviously, once I've put this in, I will... I might as well unpause it and let the guys crack on. When it comes to the layout of the cell blocks, I haven't fully thought out exactly what it's going to be. Because naturally, these are going to have interesting size cell blocks. It also depends again on whether or not I go for some sort of expansion, because then I need to leave this bit open. We'll probably leave it open for the sake of options, because otherwise, yeah, as I said, I'll paint myself into a corner with that if I don't do it. But let's see. I thought I'd unpause it. I probably had. I have just a habit of just mashing spacebar to pause the game. There you go. It's currently lock up. Obviously, we have to change all the regime. We'll have to really change the regime in this facility, because the idea for this one was to make something that we... that's wrong. Was to make something that we have a split regime based on the categories of inmates. Let's just finish off the... I mean, is it easy if I just do that? Yeah. No, because I've got that wrong there. Yeah. Regardless which way I do it, I'm going to misclick. And the game sometimes doesn't even register. Yes, I regret my decision using a completely solid white background with the snow. But I couldn't stomach another beige facility. All right, I think that's about okay. Right, so where do we want to connect these up at? Well, okay. Let's just say that we are going to have this as an expansion. I will say that yes. Oh, that's fences as well, but I'll change this up to fences. Although most likely at the front, I'm doing this as fences. Can I just go over it, or will it? Oh yeah, I can just go over it. It's gonna override it. That's totally fine. There we go. As twilight dawns, we can now pause it and we can see this a little bit better. A little bit more muddy, but it's fine. Yeah, this is probably going to be a building, although we'll see, because this is going to have some staff-only areas and such in it. As for green energy, by the way, I'm probably not going to bother with it on this one. We've went with green energy for a lot of the other facilities, so this is going to make it a bit different. Right, for the 57th time, I will just double-check the measurements. So it is 6 and 6, 6 and 6, 6 and 6. And 6 and 5, that's fine. Right, so we will go for the middle bit. I don't know, again, what sort of size we're going to have. Let's just see about maybe the cells then. So the cells, they are going to be a weird size regardless of what I do. So the cells I'm going to have... I could probably just bring this along and have cells like this. So they're going to be standard cells in terms of the sizing. So it's a 3x2. This corner is going to be a bit different. Right, let me just see about doing it the other way. Again, this corner, I understand, is going to have double walls. It's going to look a bit dodgy. It's fine. We will survive it. I don't need to worry too much, and that's just not going to work out. Right, that just settles it. So it's going to be this one. I mean, this corner, I could always change to, say, like some sort of staff area. Maybe. Or even, I could even put in some sort of, like, cleaning cupboard or something. Okay, let's bring this along. Like so. And like so. And I'm just sort of copying what we've got here. Which, that's not going to register as a cell. That will register as a cell. These are the two here. There's a door there and a door somewhere around here. That's just... I mean, I can do that. That might have to be something else. Okay, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cells there. I could put another one down here. I'm not too sure as to the positioning of that. I could get another row, maybe. That would be that. But then we are encroaching very much on this middle, which is already too small. So I think we're going to say that. It's not going to be a huge capacity of facility, but it's going to be this times, well, times 3. Remember, this isn't going to exist, this bit here, so this is going to be fairly open. I will preemptively put on the doors, even though those won't really be there. But I'm just planning if we do expansion. So, but this is more of a reminder for me to say, look, that's potentially where you can go with it. So this will all be open. Okay, the middle I will make symmetrical, which you'll obviously cut into all of this. So is there... This is the middle of the facility. 81. That's the middle bit. Let me just remove some of this. So that is the middle line, so it should be the same from either side. 41, 41. It's been a while since I made a totally symmetrical facility, and this isn't that, but it's certainly not mirror. You can't mirror it. Edge to edge is 35. Edge to edge is 35. Hang on. Ooh, hang on. Hang on a second. End to end is 34 to there. End to end, 34 to there. Let me just double check from the very edge to that. 40. Very edge from that to there. 40. Right. That is going to be as middle-ish as you're going to get. 10. 10. 10. 10. Why 10? No idea. But that is probably an acceptable middle. Is it? 10, 10, 10, 10. Dimensions are 24 by 23. End to end is 30 on both sides, which is fine. Corner to corner, again, 25 and 25. That actually works out, because this one is longer. That's 30, and this one is shorter, 25. So by the time we put the cells in, we're probably going to have about the same. Okay. Remember, this is going to be basically a gap. But, actually, it's a bit different than this, because this is going to be our main area for food. But then on the outside of that, we need the staff-only areas. Not the staff only area, sorry, the areas for all the different rooms that you can have. Which is going to be... what? I'll have to crank up the cogitator. 4x4 shop, mailroom 5, classroom 5. It's going to be 5 minimum. I'm just thinking, do I need to go to 6? Library's 5. Laundry and cleaning cupboard, I think I'm all going to have on inboard. Training room is 4x5. Bakery and stuff we're not going to have on this one. Classroom is 5. We've covered that one. There's only really the gym, which is a 7, and the... what is it called? The chapel, which is 6. I think if we go 6, that gives us options. 6. Okay. So, it's actually 6. No, that's going to cut in too much into that. Right, I'm going to shrink this down. It is actually going to go back to the original 8 that I mentioned, that I had there, actually. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, originally it was 8. Okay. And then 8. Like that. So it doesn't look like too much of a change, but it does actually make a fairly big difference. Let me just remove some of these. And this. Oh, I've just managed to get rid of the middle. 39, 39, 34, 34. And then along here, along here. Just remove that a sec. And double check the measurements. No, wrong. 8. There. This is a bit problematic in terms of the measurements, because I think I might have got it wrong somewhere. 8 and 8, and then put the corner to corner, 25. This should also be 25, which it is. Right, that should be correct. That should be correct. And then I'm going to have in the 6 that I mentioned. Like that. 6. And down here. 6 and 6. So like that and like that. Yep, it's fitting in quite nicely. Let's measure the 6, which is there, all the way down to there. Remove that, remove that. These will still go in. That's open. That doesn't exist. That's open. That's open. Those all connect up. Okay. So, what can we have in each of these? Well, I'm going to split it up into the different rooms, as I mentioned. It will be that, because then you've got an entrance there, and that's a 4 by something. Oh, ideally you want a 5 by. No, there is rooms that are 4 by something, so that is all good. Which you can have that, and then that can go straight across, and then that's more than enough room for something, again. 6 by 8. Like that. And naturally we can have entrances in here, if we really wanted to. Doors like that. Doors like that. Doors in here. And... I mean, again, I haven't really said, like, you know, what these are going to be. They're going to be a room for something. And we can always change them up naturally. This is just we're just making space for where it can go. We will put doors in here and here. Like that. And like that. This one I will keep the big line in the middle, because that's going to be the main way in. And then, as I mentioned about here, this is going to be where the cells are going to go. They're going to go like this. Okay. So, I mean, It's going to be a different... It's going to be different over here, isn't it? Because these are going to come down like so. I'll just have a quick measure, see what it looks like. I will keep it paused because of the colour changing gradient. So that's going to be like that. Again, measure from here. Naturally, there's a lot of rooms that I just don't have, which we'll have to probably put in these areas. One of these is probably going to be protective custody. The other one's probably going to be the staff-only area. Staff-only / like medical bay and things like that, the infirmary and those type of things. Okay. I'm going to leave it there for now because I don't think I need to continue on with the planning. I think hopefully you get the idea. I'll spend some time... No, I won't spend some time placing in the rest of the cells. I was going to put in the rest of all these all the way around. However, I'm not. Because if I've got even one of these measurements wrong and I notice in the edit, I'm going to have to start it all over again. So we're going to leave it something like that. I guess it would basically be what's in here. You know, what's in here. That's the worst question mark ever. Oh, God, I can't even draw the question mark. Oh, good grief. Smiley face. It's a bit of a cheeky grin. Unhappy face. And, well, that's going to be, say, staff. And that's going to be... Oh, wait, I can do a straight line. Protected. And that's inmates. Spent more time doing that than I really wanted to. Okay, that's been a bit of Prison Architect. That is our rough plan, rough idea, and design for this facility. If nothing else, the design is different rather than the idea. But, like I said, original idea, segregation. So maybe say minimum, medium, maximum, protective, staff. That's the bare minimum. Obviously, all the bit in the middle where you've got like, this is the canteen, this is where you've got all the other rooms for the inmates to interact with and go through programs, etc. Obviously, loads of planning yet to do because we haven't put in any of the staff only or the protective custody or, well, all of the support stuff. But we'll see about the next one and continue on from there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Any tips, comments, suggestions at the earlier stages is obviously always desired because then we can hopefully make changes for the better. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, we'll go from there. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. And generic partings.